We've made it this far, so why stop now? Even though ratings are plummeting, we are having issue funding week to week. We are going to squeak out the end of the season and reevaluate this show for next year. But this is the playoff preview. We congratulate all who have made it. We have myself, Team Sports, Coach McElwain, Mamba, Deefs, Zach, and Mr. Cantor. Now, Mr. Cantor's off this week. Enjoy your vacation, because we know. I don't want to talk about Dom.
We had enough of Dom last week and his seedless fruit. We got to move on.
Let's start by previewing the playoff matchups, and we have some breaking news to get to. It's going to be a fun show. First matchup we'll talk about is the White Mamba, the number 5 seed, at Team Fontanella, the number 4 seed. Two great owners in this league. Pretty much two rocks in this league, not going anywhere anytime soon. We are all about the business. Good friends. But this week we may have to break the friendship this Sunday. The White Mamba coming in is an underdog. He's got Eli Manning, Matt Asiata currently, could change, that's pending. Melvin Gordon, Brandon Cooks, Odell Beckham, CJ Fedorowicz, Cameron Brate, Lions D, and Adam Vinatieri. Team Fontanella rolling out Cam Newton, LaShawn McCoy, Jeremy Hill, T.Y. Hilton, DeAndre Hopkins, Travis Kelce, household name, Thomas Rawls, Cardinals D, Stephen Hauschka. I look at this team, being unbiased, I'll take myself out of this, say I'm not in this matchup. I think Team Fontanella has the better team without a doubt.
I agree.
I think that CJ Fedorowicz, Cameron Brate, Matt Asiata, those are all guys who are just so questionable. They have question marks next to their names, and it's tough to see Mamba start such a guru have to work with so little at this point in the season. It hurts. That being said, he squeezes every ounce of talent out of all of his players, and I'm sure it will be a close game. Porch, can I get your thoughts on this matchup?
I think it's a great first-round matchup. My favorite first-round matchup. But I think I gotta side with Team Font here. When I compare these two teams, I look at Team Font and I see stability, and I see loyalty, and I look at the White Mamba, and personally, my X factor might be a little, out there, but it's gonna have to be everybody showing up.
All hands on deck.
You can't just rely on Melvin Gordon to carry you in the playoffs. It's not going to happen. You got starting. He loves CJ Fedorowicz. Cameron Brate. I don't know how he's going to react to being on the bench for so long.
Former Font also.
How are those two going to
Font also.
I think the Lions D is going to be a big factor, but as simple as day, Mamba has to ignite a fire in this locker room, and these guys have to. That's been a problem for him. There have been weeks where not everybody showed up. And you look at Team Font, who is coming off a huge victory, a huge, inspiring, huge victory against the Long Island Pickers. I think he's hungry. I think he wants another shot at Cantor. I think he wants that second-round matchup against Bove. He's going to have to beat him twice to get to the Guru Bowl, and I think I like Font in this game.
Let's move right along here. Team Fontanella wins if the Texans-Colts game turns into a shootout. I have the two number 1 wide receivers on each team, T.Y. and DeAndre. And the White Mamba will win if C.J. Fedorowicz and Cameron Brate combine for 27.5. Very doable.
Yes, and
it's going to be, I want to say, I'm not disrespecting Mamba at all. I think this is going to be a great matchup, a lot closer than everyone else thinks. Porch, what's your Team Fontanella wins and White Mamba wins if?
Yes, I already stated I believe that the White Mamba wins if he can actually fire these guys up and they all show up. And I'm going to, maybe possibly a little similar for Team Font here. I'm going to say Font wins if his names play like the superstars that they are. Hopkins has, outside of Week 13, has been somewhat of a disappointment since coming into the organization. Kelsey's found his stride. Shady, Newton, we'll see what they can do. Rawls is an interesting one. I like to see
Picked him up for $0. May I add that one
Rawls
more
is an
time?
interesting one. He's playing. Remember, drafted by Dennis Hassett.
We'll get to Dennis Hassett just a little bit later.
Gotta love the new culture. He loves the new culture.
Let's move on to the next playoff matchup. Number 6, Deef's Nuts, going on the road to take on number 3, Team Jacobs. Deef's Nuts, right now I see his quarterback slot empty. His running back 1, DeMarco. His running back 2, empty. Antonio Brown, Tyrell Williams, Tyler Eifert, and his flex empty. 49ers D as defense and Steven Gostowski. Now, it's getting a little weird that he doesn't plug in his guys until Sunday morning. He clearly believes that these guys have an idea that he thinks that these guys care if they're in the lineup or not. I see what he's doing. He's trying to play mind games with his guys. If I'm on Deef's team, I'm fed up. Like, if I'm Dak Prescott, you're really gonna go week to week with me? Yes, I know he's got Russell Wilson, but it's just so disrespectful if you ask me.
I think at this point you got to start Dak over Russell Wilson. I think that's an easy. But this whole mind games thing. Listen, I'm all for mind games. I'm all for the occasional trash talk. But man, is this really effective? Like, who the fuck cares?
Like is Antonio Brown looking at your lineup every night? Come on, let's be real. Moving over to Jacobs, has been under fire absolutely from us recently. He is he doesn't score many points. Not many points are scored against him. He's 9-4. We think that's crazy because we all know he had an easy schedule.
Easiest in the league.
Looking at his team, Drew Brees, LeGarrette Blount, Theo Riddick, Demaryius Thomas, Devontae Adams, Ladarius Green, Julio Jones, questionable. He's questionable every week though, so I'm not concerned.
Will Lutz.
Raiders D and Will Lutz.
That might be a good rotation first.
You lost me at Will Lutz. I'm picking Deef's Nuts, not only because he's a better team. You're starting Will Lutz. Will Lutz.
Okay, I gotta say something
Confused.
here. You know, sports. I don't think many people will notice this. Sports clearly doesn't care about this, but you know, I think locker room morale is a big part of this league, and to disrespect Julio Jones by putting him in the flex.
That's a nice point.
Do you think Devontae Adams deserves the wide receiver spot more than Julio Jones?
Against Seattle. Devontae Adams against Seattle.
Dylan Jacobs, I question your leadership skills at this point. I really
At this point, I'd be surprised if Julio shows up on Sunday, to be honest. Now, I don't want to talk more about Jacobs. We both agree we don't see him going far. Does he sneak past round 1?
Listen, I think this is by far the worst playoff matchup
Absolutely.
we have. Team Jacobs, maybe the worst 9-4 team we've ever seen. 9th in scoring, 14th in points against. He's lucky to be here. And that's a fact. So is Deef's Nuts, but you know what? Deef's Nuts acknowledges the fact that he's lucky to be here.
He knows he's thankful for a chance at the offs.
At the end of the day, you have to respect the commish because he plays it like he sees it. He's for real. Team Jacobs is living in a fantasy island right now.
Yep.
You know.
Agreed.
But at the end of the day, this is an interesting one. Both of these teams, this Team Jacobs has not been scoring well down the stretch, and Deef's Nuts has been consistent enough to the point where he can beat a team that's had an off day. The question is sports going to have an off day?
I'm going to say Deef's Nuts wins if DeMarco Murray comes off his bye like a bat out of hell, absolutely shreds.
I want to take a quick look at his bench right now.
Shreds up Denver defense. It's a very tough defense.
I want to see who he's got on his bench right now. He's got Rex. He picked up Rex Burkhead. Interesting.
Apparently, insiders reported Malcolm Mitchell.
Oh, Malcolm Mitchell!
Malcolm Mitchell could very well be in his flex spot this weekend.
I'm a Malcolm Mitchell fan.
So I'm saying Deef's Nuts will win if DeMarco goes ham coming off his bye, and I think Team Jacobs will win if Theo Riddick scores a receiving touchdown. Porch, who do you have?
This is tough for me. I'm going to have to just go with my gut here, and I'm going to say Team Jacobs gets it together and gets the win. It's such a 50-50 for me, but I think Team Jacobs wins if Julio is 100% and everyone else follows suit.
Now, I'm definitely picking Deef's nuts. Team Jacobs makes an exit. But I think we both can agree this matchup's going to end off being, like, the final score of this matchup's going to be, like, 75 to, like, 72 or something.
It could.
Something very low scoring.
One of these guys is going to get lucky here. Whoever loses this game, I think we can agree, it's not going to be pretty. Whoever loses
It's going to be a very interesting Sunday. Next matchup. Our final playoff matchup for the Week 1 playoffs, Round 1. Real Young Gun Zach Didino versus Coach Jim McElwain. At first, we thought Real Young Gun was going to be taking on Team Jacobs, something that I think we all would rather have seen. Two guys who have been at each other's throats for years, battling on who is more of a loser than the other. Real Young Gun rolling out Brady, Ingram, Freeman, Wallace, Tyreek Hill on Thursday night. Jordan Reed returning this week, I believe. Crowell, the new acquisition, Crowell. Chiefs D on Thursday night, and Cairo Santos on Thursday night. Huge Thursday night for Zach. And we have Coach Jim rolling out Luck, Hyde, Howard, Evans, Cooper tonight. Graham, Gurley, Broncos D, and Tucker. I think Coach Jim is projected to win by 13 points. I look at these two teams. I think, is Macklin back tonight, Porch? I believe Macklin's back tonight. Macklin is back tonight. I think Tyreek Hill takes a back seat tonight. I think Chiefs D is not going to score many points tonight against the high-powered offense of Oakland. I think Coach Jim wins if Mike Evans explodes against the Saints. Very well could explode against the Saints.
Listen.
Real Young Gun wins if Tyreek Hill... No, Real Young Gun wins if Jordan Reed returns to form. Porch, thoughts?
I look at this game. I look at one of the two... Both of these owners have very interesting past, very interesting road to these playoffs. You know, this parasite, Zach Didino, 2 years straight, 6-7 sneaks in.
Yep. It's annoying. It's fucking annoying.
I think that defines who Zach Didino is as a man.
Yep.
The bare minimum.
Dweeb. He's a dweeb.
The guy shoots for the bare minimum.
Dweeb.
And he gets in, and I hate that.
I hate that.
You know, but on the same side, you look at Coach Jim, and he's my cousin. Mm-hmm. I rarely mention that on this show to show how respectful I am in saying this, but you think of Coach Jim, you think of David Goodman, fantasy football, and what always follows suit?
I'm gonna tell you
disappointment.
I'm gonna tell you when I think of David Goodman,
he loses the big game.
When I think of David Goodman, I think of somebody sitting out in the ocean on a boat, and that boat is just slowly taking on water, just slowly sinking.
Yep.
That's my thought when I think of David Goodman's team.
Every time you expect Coach Jim to make a big move, to do something, he falls short, and that's the only reason.
Right.
Because this is such a Zach Didino win scenario. This is such a you don't expect much from him. Taking on a guy that should kick his ass, and Zach finds a way to walk away.
I'm gonna say right now, I think.
Because I was telling Mamba earlier, I was looking at Zach, but when you actually look at the rosters side by side, it's so hard not to pick Goodman.
Goodman gets infected when it comes to the playoffs.
He does.
Goodman is not a good playoff team. I'm taking Real Young Gun for at least this round 1 win. I think Real Young Gun pulls it out. Coach Jim, another disappointing end to a good 9-4 season.
These playoff matchups are tough, man.
Porch, who you taking?
Zach wins if Ingram and Devonta combine for at least 50. Because Goodman wins if Jordan Howard goes off again. Because I can't trust Jimmy Graham. I can't trust Todd Gurley. I think Cooper, he's even had some off games too.
He's got a lot of names. Let's be real.
So many names, but you know what?
Not enough firepower at the end of the day.
I am gonna go Goodman. I'll kill you come Christmas time. I swear to God, I'll kill you. I'm gonna pick you because you have the names.
Wow.
I'm gonna go against my original pick. Oh my God, did Tyreek Hill just fumble? I just got this from the fucking update.
Who wins? Come on.
Coach Jim wins.
Limited amount of airtime here. Real quick for the waiver wire playoff teams, $35 budget. This week we had some big spenders. The young gun picks up Isaiah Crowell. Why he was a free agent is ridiculous. Thanks a lot, TCP, for ruining another thing. Young Gun picks up Crowell, wastes all 35 of their dollars. They are clearly in a win now position. They need to win. And they are going to start Crowell, so nice boost for them. White Mamba spends 28 buckaroos on the Falcons. Kind of a sneaky play in that I myself put in a waiver claim for the Falcons, and I'm playing Mamba, so he kind of blocked it there. He picked the Falcons D up for future use. He always thinks ahead. I like his thinking. Nice move there. Deef's Nuts picks up Justin Forsett. Don't know how much of a factor he will be, just coming over to the Broncos. Does he eat into Devontae Booker's touches? We shall see. Forsett was picked up for $10. Now, I had a little time on my hands this week. I went team by team. Inactives, there's been a lot of talk about the amount of inactives that have been going on this year. When it's from Dennis Hassett to TCP to Fish to Twan to whoever. Okay? So there are certain teams, I went week to week, and I picked out all the inactives for the entire season. Okay? TCP, 2 inactives. Deef's Nuts, 0. Not a shock. MMED, 0. Kind of a shock. Fish, 2. Congrats on the Tigers. Neps, 0. Not a shock. Coach Jim, 0. Not a shock. Pickers, 0. Mark, 0. Not a shock. Mamba, to be honest with you, I'm going to be completely honest with you. I didn't even check Mamba's 13 weeks because I knew Mamba would not even dare start an inactive. I didn't even check Mamba's week to week because I know he wouldn't do that. I had no inactives. Jacobs, no inactives. Zach, 0 inactives. Twan Squad just recently had 1 inactive. So we had 3 teams. I'm not even counting Dennis Hassett. I'm not even going to count it. But Dennis Hassett had, I think, 1, right?
It doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. The kid was 0-7, so that's really why he was booted. As well as not making moves and etc. Not checking. So TCP, 2 inactives. Fish, 2 inactives. Twan, 1 inactive. I'd like to apologize right here. I kind of took a shot at Twan, and I'm apologizing not only because I don't want him to take off my head in Christmas Bowl. I'm also apologizing to him because it was only a one-time thing, and I was frustrated really at TCP and Fish, and it's just heated arguments. Words were said. I want to put it behind us. I don't want to get concussion on Christmas Bowl, please. And we're moving on from that. Twan, I think we both can agree. Twan overall is a very good manager in this league. I think he knows a lot, and I think he's active. He makes moves.
I don't know what happened to cause that 5-game losing streak to end the season. I guess only he will.
Fun fact for you: 2 5-game losing streaks to end the season this year. They were Mark Kamahar, very surprising, and Twan. Very tough. Like we said, they did choke this year. Nobody's denying that. Better luck next year, boys. Twan, I apologize. Like to welcome Commissioner of the League, Deef's Nuts, Mike Dino, repping Portland Trailblazers tonight for some reason. We appreciate you taking the time out of your busy day. Deef's Nuts, we'd like to have you here as co-commish here. Come On Man of the Week is TCP. Can you please explain to this great nation why TCP was Come On Man of the Week in great detail? Thank you.
Now, I can do that for you, Mr. Fontanella.
Thank you.
Sunday morning, Mr. Fontanella brings it upon my attention that Chris Ivory is still in the active lineup. I go to see my phone, I see Fonty says this, I then see Kohane texting me, and what he says is, we're going to pick up Robert Turbin, and we're going to play him Monday night. So, cool, nice. They're still on top of their season's over, but they're still on top of everything. And then come around 1:30, I check their lineup, and Ivory's still in. So what happened was Kohane picked up Robert Turbin because they eventually claimed them on Monday, and he played Ivory. So he played the inactive player, which he said he wasn't going to do, and then he picked up Turbin for zero reason whatsoever, leaving Ivory as a hot commodity in DFAs. Which Zach jumped on.
Commish, I'll tell you why they picked up Turbin. They picked up Turbin to try to save their ass, I believe, in this league. They picked up Turbin to try to cover. To try to cover themselves.
The funny thing is, he texted me saying, "I'm taking Ivory out of my lineup and I'm putting in Turbin Monday morning.
Right.
I'm picking up Turbin Monday morning and we're gonna play him." But
Right.
then they never took out Ivory.
Right. I mean, how did this kid get into Duke? Oh my God, crazy. Now that
I mean,
go
what
ahead.
did you go pick him up and then figure out I'm still play Ivory?
I don't think they know how many running back slots we have. Like, it's just weird. That whole organization, the way they operate is completely dysfunctional. Is the word correct?
And I'm not gonna lie to you, I don't like Chris Durkin. I don't like anything Durkin's about. I don't think he's in the group chat, rightfully so. He doesn't ever reach out to the commissioner. I don't know if he's ever reached out to you, Mr. Fontanella.
Of course not. Does he even know who I am at this point? Durkin, can you still hear us, Commish? Yeah. You can.
boy.
Durkin. The fact is, Durkin is not.
And we're not happy with TCP right now.
Durkin is nowhere near into it as much as the rest of us are. And I'll say TCP in general. Agreed?
Breaking up with you a little bit. Say that again.
I'm pretty much saying that Durkin is not as involved and doesn't care as much as we all of us do, correct?
Struggling with connection right now.
Okay.
We are starting a podcast. Give us a break here. Commish, can you hear me?
I'm good. I got you.
Okay, it's a little bit of a delay.
What I was saying was,
I don't know how to do it.
can you hear me?
You're in and out, man.
Oh, boy.
What I was saying was, Chris Durkin does not care as much as the rest of us do. Commish. I mean, oh my God. After technical difficulties, Deep's nuts. I'll ask you for the 6th time, and hopefully I'm getting my first answer. Is it true we can all agree Chris Durkin doesn't put as much into it as the rest of us do? Not as
He can maybe
not as involved. Do you agree with that?
Oh, boy.
Oh my. Here we are, Commish. After a lot of technical difficulties, a lot of issues with our Wi-Fi's. Can we agree Chris Durkin does not put in as much effort and does not care as much as the rest of us?
Absolutely, Mike. Absolutely.
Loud and clear.
He's not even in the group chat.
Crystal.
Or if he is, I don't know if he knows he is.
Crystal
Find out sooner
clear.
rather than later.
Does he even have the GroupMe app? Let's be honest.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on down there in UConn. I'm not sure what's in the water, but he's not okay.
He's not. That is a good way of putting it. It's a nice way of putting
I don't know
it.
what classes Cohane's taking at Duke, but I'm sure it's not the hardest thing in the world to take out a player when he's inactive and pick one up that's active. I don't know what they teach you at Duke, though, man.
He's not taking aero engineering, whatever, aerospace. Now, let's roll right into
Segue.
Let's roll right into breaking news. Commish, can you please reveal breaking news? Hot off the presses, nobody even knows about yet. Going to be a huge news.
The breaking news is Brian Cohane and Chris Durkin have been fired from the Guru Nation.
Whoa!
Yeah, let that sink in for a minute. Brian
Man, it's like
fired.
we
We wish them the best in their future endeavors. And Mike, would you like to announce who will be replacing them?
I'd like to finish. I'd like to finish right where you left off. TCP out of the league. We have a vacant spot. After great thought, Commission and I, a lot of late nights talking about this, we've decided and spoken with coming back, being reinstated into this league, Mr. Dennis Hassett. Welcome home. We've missed you. We've missed you greatly. We've missed your annoying little gestures that you do. We've missed how we missed you. You agree with that, Kamish?
Yeah, I agree with that, and we would love to have him on tonight, but he's actually checking out of the rehab center tonight. He's taking a flight home, so we decided we'd let him be with his family for the night, and then tomorrow is when the business starts. We will reinstate him into the group chat the day after your podcast is released.
Yep.
We will then boot Cohen and Durkin. I'm not sure if they watched the video. I'm going to take a wild guess and say they don't.
So
it was a surprise to them.
If they show up to the draft next year, it's going to be a little awkward.
It's going to be a little awkward. We're going to have questions we're going to have to answer, and we will do our best to do that.
We have a question here.
Yeah, there's one question that may or may not have been pre-prepared for this.
I recently rattled off earlier in this weekly that I went through the inactives by team. TCP had 2 inactives.
Okay.
And Jason Foley had 2 inactives. So we have an audience question here. Yes, sir.
Audience?
It's you. Answer.
Oh, I'm going. Okay. The question we would have is why exactly?
Say your name, please, first.
What?
What's your name? And where are you from?
Where do you work? Who do you work with?
Just name me where you're from. Come on, let's go. We have Mike.
All right, Joe Staley from Iowa. I have a question here. How is it that TCP gets ditched for 2 inactives, but Jason Foley also had 2 inactives? So I don't understand. How does that? How do you What do you comment?
Kamish, how do we respond to that at this moment in time?
At this moment, we are unable to answer that question. We are still gathering intel as we speak. We're going to look into the paperwork. We'll go back into the system. We'll do everything we can.
No.
Well, you know what? I think
Kamish, are you there?
Your closing statement.
Kamish, you there?
I'm there.
All right. Just finish what you're saying. We for the last 10 seconds you cut out. Just finish. At this moment in time, the commissioner's office cannot answer that question. I would like to do a little side note. The reason I think at this moment in time, one of the reasons that TCP is not getting any slack and Jason Foley is, 1, we are not very fond of TCP as people. And 2 is because they had a conversation with you and then about picking somebody up. Then they picked him up too late. They didn't take the other guy out. And then they all of a sudden drop Isaiah Crowell, who's now starting in a playoff lineup. And
do you want me to go off script here for a second, Mike?
And hold on. And my third point is Jason Foley is if you think about OG members of this league, Jason Foley's in it. Jason Foley's an original member of this league.
If you want me to go off script here and give you an answer of why Cohen and Durkin out of the league, it's because nobody likes them. Who cares about them? They have no business in this league. Nobody likes them. They don't participate in a group chat. They don't make many trades. They don't make many moves. They're never irrelevant. They had one lucky year. Jay is a busy man. I mean, he's in the MLB, so I'm not sure if his number 1 priority is the Guru Nation, rightfully so. But when it comes down to it, we do not like Durkin. We do not like Cohen, and we like Jay. It's an easy answer. It's an easy solution.
Easy solution. TCP leaving this league after, I believe, 3 seasons.
I believe they coached for 3 years. Yes, maybe 4.
Three seasons of just yawning and they're just not fun.
2 terrible seasons, 1 lucky ring. That's their legacy.
They leave this league. Dennis Hassett entering. Dennis Hassett brings a lot more to the table. We understand Dennis Hassett has had his troubles in the past. That's why he's been checked into rehab for the last 12 weeks. He is definitely a rehabilitated man, we believe, and we cannot wait to have Dennis Hassett back in this league next year. Agreed.
Yeah, it's an exciting time for the Guru Nation. We've really upped the ante this year. We've cut some fat off,
trimmed,
and we got rid of some bad seeds, and we we were introduced to Danny Football, who was like Jeremy Lin for a little while.
Love it.
He
Love it.
took the world by storm for 2 or 3 weeks. He has now come down to earth, but I'm excited to see what he can do in a full year. And the whole up and down season with Hassett, from champion to rock bottom, the rehab,
Hell of a story.
You could write a book about this stuff.
Drug abuse is nothing to kid about, okay? It was a very tough year for Hassett. Danny Football, I want to say something. He's come back down to earth a little bit, but how excited are you to see what he can do with a team he actually drafted himself? I mean, I'm excited.
I'm very excited. I mean, this dude's an all-world player. He knows his fantasy, and we're looking forward to seeing what he could do in a full year.
Absolutely.
In the most competitive league in Long Island.
And another quick, before we let you go, another quick side note. It was announced this year, Schefter reported it, that MMED is staying together.
I want to talk about
Can I
this,
get
actually.
thoughts on that really quick?
Good for them. I like them as a group. I like Hoffman leading that squad, though, which he does. There was some chatter Sinatar be brought back, but he didn't like the terms and the money that Hoff was giving him. So
Didn't
Hoff
agree.
decided to go to Glue. Even though it hasn't worked so far, I think they're on the rise.
That glue's been coming
Ben
undone.
Hoffman's been
That
on the-
glue's
on
been
the
coming
rise
undone
for
for
4
years. For years, it's been a struggle.
Ben Hoffman.
We're a little confused why Ben Hoffman won't just ride solo at this point. Does he have an insecurity about that? It's weird how he can't ride solo.
Yeah, we know Hoff's kind of been a duo type of guy his whole life, so
His entire life, he can't do things by himself, right? But you know what? Congrats to him. He just signed on for another 500 season with Reed next year. Way to go.
Yeah.
Under
another-
500 season, let me
we're
clarify.
going to be good in the beginning of the year and fall apart at the end and not make the playoffs.
Can't wait to see that happen again for the third straight year next year. Kamish, thanks for coming on to unveil the breaking news. TCP out of the league. Welcome back, Hassett. Have a great night, sir.
You guys, too, enjoy yourself.
All right. That was Kamish Mike Dodino. Breaking news. That is probably the biggest news we've had since Dennis Hassett was kicked out of the league, and he's back. He's
Yeah.
back.
You know what, though? I actually want to talk about something for a moment. It's something you touched on. I want to break down this Adam Schefter tweet announcement that MMED is sticking
So
together.
annoying.
You know, Ben Hoffman. How long? And Mamba, even chime in here. How long has Hoffman been in this league?
5.
I believe 4 years.
No, I feel it's more than 4 years.
I say let's be safe. Say he's been in for 4 years. Let's
Okay.
say.
Well, you know, I have been on record of saying that I thought this was going to be MMED's year to get over that 500 hump. And early on, I looked like I was going to be right, and I was very happy, but same old MMED.
And
Same old the franchise. And you know what? We talked about a little bit, you know, why does he's a team guy? He likes having someone on his back. Is it because
He needs a tandem.
does he need a tandem or does he need an excuse?
Whoa.
He needs somebody.
Does
to
he need
back
a fall
him up
guy?
in some
'Cause
jab?
you look what's happened with Reed against. He's settling for
Wow,
Reed.
that
Let's
is
be
a
honest. He's settling for Reed. Let's be
That's a
honest.
fantastic.
No.
That's a fantastic take on that situation.
Because-
I agree completely with you there.
What has been the constant in the failure of Ben Hoffman's franchises? Ben Hoffman has been a part of the helm.
But
And you couldn't.
but who's always been blamed? Your Costers when they were to
Your Senators.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That got him
Your-
next from the league.
Your Senators, your Reeds.
Now,
That is a phenomenal point.
we actually have we have someone who used to work with Reed. How would you describe Reed as a co-owner?
He's clueless.
It's
man.
like it's like working in a sweatshop, right? You're not getting anywhere anytime soon.
Reed's the fly on the wall in my laboratory. That's what Reed.
Wow.
Like-
Fly on
Where's-
you're
and
the
honestly,
bacteria around his bathroom toilet seat in his
We-
laboratory.
We talk about group chat interaction. When was the last time Reed posted something to the group? Like, seriously.
Yeah, I think that's a fantastic angle you took at that. Hoffman needs somebody to blame it else on, and that's sad.
That's
Very sad. And what's the deal with just re-signing Reed? I mean,
he's settling.
spice it up a little bit.
I mean, clearly,
Bring in some new blood.
if he did try to get Kevin Sinitar in, they couldn't. Like Kamish said, they couldn't
couldn't
figure
reach,
out what
they
deal
couldn't
they
reach an
want.
agreement.
I mean,
I'd just like to mention that I brought Regan Zesky to the playoffs for a year. Ben
Reed was in the
Hoffman,
playoffs?
I brought him there.
you know who would be?
Fun fact.
Ben Hoffman has some work to. Ben's never been in the playoffs.
He's never been over 500.
I mean, oh my
He's
lord!
never been
Wait
over
a second,
500.
You mean to
Mamba.
tell me Benjamin Hoffman talks a huge game, has never been in the playoffs?
Never been in the playoffs.
Listen, I
Thank
saw.
you for that tidbit, intern Dan. Wow, there's been a lot going on in this weekly. We gotta move on.
We do.
We need to move on. All right, boys and girls, wrapping up this week. We have some very intriguing matchups between myself and the White Mamba. Deep Nuts versus Team Jacobs, and the Real Young Gun versus Coach Jim. I think they're all going to come down to the wire. All going to maybe come down to Monday night. A lot of players playing. We had some breaking news. This episode had a little bit of everything. We had some breaking news. We had some reuniting.
Kelsey.
Oh God, please don't be hurt. It's been a fun time. Had a lot of intel coming in here. Thanks to Kamish for coming on, helping us break that huge breaking news. To recap, TCP, there's the door. Dennis Hassett, rehabilitated man, welcome back. We appreciate you. TCP, we wish nothing bad about TCP, agreed? We like TCP as people.
Listen.
It just didn't work out. It just didn't work out.
Listen.
We appreciate you. Congratulations, you won one league this year. 3 fantastic matchups coming up this week. Mamba versus Font. I almost said TCP.
Oh my goodness.
Wow.
We got Coach Jim taking on
Coach
Real
Jim
Young
taking
Gun.
on Real Young Gun, and Deep Nuts taking on Jacobs. All going to be very tight matchups. All going to be great down to the wire games. Portia, did I cover everything?
I believe we did. Listen, it's going to be an interesting watch from the sidelines this year. First time I've been on the sidelines of the playoffs for a couple of seasons. I don't like it, but it'll be interesting.
Porch will be back here in the next 5 years or so. He'll be back.
We'll see.
Thanks for all watching. We would like to talk more about the Christmas Bowl. We will be back next week for round 2 playoff video. We will talk more about the Christmas Bowl then. But for now, we will see y'all later.